So how is this important to us? To you? Without members, there obviously is no club. But beyond that, each of us as members has a responsibility to build membership in the club. And so I'm going to talk about the advice that Toastmasters gives us for doing that. And then I'm going to ask each of you, because this is a graded exercise, to provide feedback in the form of concrete, actionable things that we can do. So, be forewarned. This is testable material, and you will be put on the spot. Now, I'm working out of one of the pamphlets, which is a material that gives us advice on this. It tells me how to prepare and provide you with this particular speech, which is part of earning a competent or advanced leader type qualification. For our VP of membership, there's another pamphlet that Toastmasters provides that has to do with membership growth, that has a lot of information. Essentially, I'm going to take everything that's in these two manuals and give it to you in 20 seconds. Finding new members boils down to recruiting new members and treating guests properly. End of story. That's my speech. Membership growth entails looking at the Moment of Truth checklist, which if you haven't seen it is quite interesting. It's a self-evaluation of the club and various aspects of the club that has to do with how well we put on meetings and how well we function. And then there's marketing, that job between public relations and VP membership, and that we all do to make people aware of the opportunities that Toastmasters brings to them. And then there's that process that takes prospects. Aaron, for example, became a prospect because our sign recruited him. And then he became a guest. So we go from prospect to guest. And then there's an all-important decision that occurs where Aaron decided to become a member. And we all went through some similar process. What is the most important source of prospects and guests for our club? You are, each of you, each and every one of you. Fred is prolific in bringing in many guests, some of whom become members of our club. So I want to call him out and congratulate him on that. So how do you recruit that new member? You talk to friends, relatives, colleagues, co-workers. You show people that you're a member of Toastmasters in some way. You might wear your Toastmasters pin. You might do something like leave your Toastmasters magazine out where it's visible and someone can ask about it. You may, in your area or other places, display some of the brochures, flyers, and other sorts of things that are available online and available through me as the VP of PR in the future for you to use to help us in this effort. And finally, the club as a whole, and Sheila's been talking about potentially doing this, putting on a speechcraft type of workshop where we can bring in people and they can see the benefits of Toastmasters as we help them to build their speech-giving skills. And we do have social networking already. Thanks to our VP of PR, Carrie, we have a strong capability for social networking, but are you using it? If not, please help us go there and use it. So I said there were two parts to this. The second part is how we treat our guests. Do we greet them at the door? It's not just one person's job, not just the VP of membership, it's all of our jobs to help with greeting the guest. Do we have someone sit with the guest? We typically don't do that unless we bring the guest. Maybe we should consider that. Speak with the guest after the meeting. Our VP membership, many of our officers, many of our members do this. Get feedback from the guest and make the guest feel like they were an important part of our meeting. And then invite the guest to join Toastmasters. We've been following up for guests with emails and also that one-on-one contact. But it's all important that you keep this personal. And of course, we always ask our guests to visit again. So keep it personal, keep it human, make it fun. Any questions? Okay, now we can move on to the fun part. You all have a piece of paper. If anyone doesn't have it, raise your hand. This is going to be really hard, but I'm going to assign you a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now you have about 30 seconds. In the area where it says 1, write down your concrete idea or ideas for how we can bring in more new members. One concrete idea. You can build on something that was in the presentation. You can think outside the box. You just have a few seconds of at least 1, 2 or more if you can. Write legibly. We're going to collect these afterwards. We'll grade your grammar, penmanship.
Ardently.
Ardently. Do I get credit for that? Or? I was saving ardent for the end of my. Okay, anybody still working? Okay, now here's the hard part. If you're number 1, pair up with number 2. If you're number 2, pair up with number 3. If you haven't gotten the pattern yet, raise your hand and ask, and I'll tell you who to pair up with. Joe, you get to pair up with me.
Wait. How can Carl pair up with both of us?
1 pairs with 2. Oh, excuse me, 3 pairs with 4. Good question.
I don't know who to
Lucky Carl. No wonder he smiled.
I'm also evaluating them, so. Like kind of, you know, I think, I know like on KSPW, every now and then have that little community. Sometimes radio stations have community events. We are a nonprofit. Like district conferences.
In your own words, in closing comment.
But,
Now pair up again. 1 and 2 pair up with 3 and 4.
okay.
5 and 6 pair up with 7 and 8. Now you're a group of 4.
So now we're over here.
Okay.
Take those ideas that you talked about. Whatever the best one was your group of 2 within the 2 areas.
I said public service announcement.
Make sure you capture your group of 2 ideas.
I have volunteer to judge it a little bit more. They have to
Really nice members to use who wear their pin, especially during meetings. Not during meetings.
Now what's going to happen next is I'm going to call out a number and you're going to stand up and represent your group and give the best couple of ideas from your group.
I think you're 2 are the best.
So we got to pick the best.
Best 1 or 2 ideas from your group.
Okay, I'll represent.
No, you don't get volunteer to represent. You get right up and drawn in my head. Make sure you represent it. So everybody on the team be ready to represent your group.
Says one idea, and
Well, that wouldn't help to
having a debate.
John had an idea which was
All these invites. So what are the best ideas? We have, some one of us is gonna get called on for the best.
Where's the Starbucks now?
Oh, it was pretty noisy.
Yeah.
And then you
Because I didn't know I was going to spill about
From the 5.
I think that's a fair
Right?
How are we doing?
Would you review the ideas once
Thank you for reminding me.
Okay, this is all the speeches going on here, so.
Have a workshop, always invite friends. I also have,
Pick the best.
promote our Facebook page.
You'll probably have to edit this for.
I'd summarize
To do it in this fashion, as long as it's 10.
Yeah, it's still being timed, so.
So it's kind of like a special meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
To do that.
the moment of truth.
Pat, you're
If your number's called, you stand up and represent your group of 4. Give 1 or 2 of the best ideas that you have. Remember to capture all the ideas from the groups. So number 3.
Oh, great. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our ideas that we came up with.
Okay?
best.
Just one or two of the best.
One or two of the best.
So we'll take it.
A muster message about Toastmasters,
Okay.
and
An NPS.
adding to Starbucks, putting our sign over by Starbucks and adding a message that says, do you ever have to give speeches in class?
Very good. Number 7.
So we came up with many ideas, but I'll share 2 of them with you. Having the table at MPS, it is coming up again on January 22nd, and really having great support there. Number 2 was having a debate and advertising it and drawing a different crowd with a different event.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Number 11.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. He came up with a public service announcement, that was Arnie's, and Carrie came up with volunteer to judge at a local school.
Thank you. Very good ideas. And number 15.
Oh, yeah, sorry, for so many ideas also. First one, my introduced using the social networks of Facebook and the Twitter and blogs, so clubs to introduce our clubs. And the next second idea was to the open classes. So will be good to introduce my friends and relatives to open these meetings. Very good chance.
Excellent. Thank you. I saw a lot of energy, very ardent work went into these ideas. We're going to collect the papers. Our VP of membership is going to have them, and we'll ask the officers and you as members to act upon them. Thank you so much. And Madam Toastmaster?